Welcome to POP Podcast.
Great to be here.
Today, we're plunging headfirst into the vibrant world of musical theater.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, exploring the legacy of the one and only William Finn. Tony Award winner, composer, lyricist.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, recently passed.
That's right. You found that piece on Playbill about his passing, and, well, our mission today, I guess, is to really unpack his contributions.
Exactly. To Broadway, beyond Broadway. Why did his work hit so hard? Why does it still feel so relevant?
Yeah, what was that connection?
We've got quite a bit of material here, sources detailing his life, his career, and we want to pull out the really insightful bits for everyone.
The key takeaways, the stuff that really shows his impact.
So William Finn, where do we even start?
Oh, maybe the beginning, his roots. He was born and raised in Massachusetts.
Right, conservative Jewish background, I read.
Yeah, and interestingly, he apparently wrote his very first play back in Hebrew school.
No way, really?
Yeah, can you imagine that little spark starting way back then?
That's amazing. From Hebrew school plays to Broadway and then college, he went to Williams?
He did. Started as a guitar major, apparently.
Oh, not music initially.
No, but then switched to music. And here's a fascinating parallel. Stephen Sondheim.
Also a Williams alum.
Exactly. And both got the Hutchinson Fellowship. This weird echo, isn't it?
It really is. Like some kind of shared path, almost predestined.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder about that Williams influence,
Definitely. How that environment might have shaped to such distinct voices in musical theater.
And speaking of distinct voices,
Mm-hmm.
Finn's work is known for being so personal, autobiographical.
Hugely autobiographical. That's a real hallmark. He didn't shy away from putting his life out there.
No, not at all. His experiences as a gay Jewish man living with that brainstem malformation, it's woven right into the shows.
Mm-hmm. The Playbill piece really highlighted that.
And you have to think that contributes massively to the emotional depth, right?
Mm-hmm.
That honesty.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when a writer taps into something that real, that personal, it gives the story this rawness.
Authenticity.
Exactly, authenticity. And audiences feel that, I think. It creates a really strong connection, like you're getting a piece of their soul.
Which leads us perfectly into the Marvin trilogy, doesn't it?
It does, kind of the foundation.
Okay, so break that down for us. In Trousers, March of the Falsettos, Falsetto Land.
Right. 3 off-Broadway musicals. His professional breakthrough, really.
They tell one continuous story.
Pretty much. Following Marvin, who's gay, his lover Whizzer, his ex-wife Trina, their son Jason. This sort of messy modern family.
And it's set against a really specific time period.
Yeah, the early 80s through the start of the AIDS crisis, which is pretty heavy.
It's intense. The Playbill article called it an unexpected documentation of the crisis unfolding.
That's a good way to put it, because In Trousers came first before AIDS was really widely known.
Right.
Then March of the Falsettos reflects that growing awareness, that unease.
And Falsetto Land deals with it head on.
Yeah.
The impact.
Exactly. It's this powerful arc, captured almost in real time. Shows how art can reflect these huge societal moments.
It really does. And I read Trousers wasn't a huge hit at first.
No, it had a bit of a rocky start. Got better reviews later, especially in context. But March and Falsetto Land.
Different story.
Yeah, much more acclaimed. James Lapine directed those.
Ah, Lapine. Key collaborator.
Huge. And eventually March of the Falsettos and Falsetto Land were combined.
Into Falsettos, the Broadway show.
Precisely. Which landed on Broadway in '92, ran for almost 500 performances.
Wow. And Tonys.
Yep, 7 nominations. Won 2 big ones, Best Score for Finn and Best Book, shared with Lapine.
That's major. And it didn't just disappear after that run, did it?
Not at all. There was that big Broadway revival in 2016, critically acclaimed again.
Got more Coney nominations too, right?
5 more, yeah. And they even filmed that production. It was broadcast on PBS.
Which just speaks volumes about how powerful and, frankly, how necessary that story still feels.
Yeah.
Decades later.
Absolutely. It's a touchstone. Deals with LGBTQ plus history, family, loss, with such humanity.
Okay, quick pause here.
Hmm.
If you're finding this dive into William Finn's work as fascinating as we are, maybe take a second to hit like or subscribe.
Yeah, it genuinely helps us keep these conversations going. Let us know what you think.
Definitely. Okay, so Falsettos.
Yeah.
Huge Broadway moment, but wasn't actually his debut.
Ah, good point. That's a common misconception. Our Playbill source clears that up.
Okay, so what was his first show on Broadway?
It was a musical called Dangerous Games back in 1989.
Dangerous Games. Never heard of it.
Well, there's a reason. It didn't last long.
How long are we talking?
4 performances.
4. Ouch. That's rough.
Yeah, a real blink and you miss it situation. But what's interesting about it,
Go on.
it was one of the very few times Finn didn't write the music. He wrote the lyrics.
Really? Who did the music?
The legendary Astor Piazzolla.
The tango guy. Piazzolla. Wow.
Right. Tango Nuevo composer. So Finn was working way outside his usual zone there. It's this little footnote, but kind of fascinating. Shows his range, maybe.
Definitely shows a willingness to try different things. Okay, so after that blip, we get a new brain.
Mm-hmm. And this one is intense, very personal.
Based on his own life, right? That health scare.
Directly inspired by it. His near-death experience after brain surgery. The main character, Gordo, is basically Finn.
Dealing with the AVM. The arteriovenous malformation.
Exactly. That tangle of blood vessels, potentially fatal.
And the other characters are based on real people, too. His partner, his mother.
Yeah, thinly veiled representations. Roger Delibovi represents his partner, Arthur Salvador. And his mom is in there, too.
Man, that takes guts. Putting such a terrifying, vulnerable moment on stage like that.
It really does. Immense courage, and it obviously struck a chord.
It premiered off-Broadway.
Lincoln Center Theater.
Yeah.
And it won the Outer Critics Circle Award for Outstanding Off-Broadway Musical in '99.
See, that vulnerability, turning that struggle into powerful heart, it worked.
It absolutely did. Turning pain into, well...
Song. Okay, so from that intensity, we pivot hard to the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
Totally different energy. Pure fun.
Another cult classic, though, right? Just
lighter.
Much lighter, yeah. Comedic gold, but still smart. He did music and lyrics for this one. Book by Rachel Shankin.
And this started at Barrington Stage Company.
It did, which is cool because Finn later started his musical theater lab there.
Oh, right. The MTL. For new writers.
Exactly. So he wasn't just creating, he was actively nurturing new talent, giving back.
That's fantastic. And Spelling Bee was a hit, too, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Big time. Won 2 Tonys in 2005.
Which ones?
Best Book for Rachel Shankin and Best Featured Actor for Dan Fogler, who was amazing.
He was. And more nominations.
4 others, including Best Musical and Best Score for Finn himself.
It just shows his incredible range, doesn't it? From Falsettos and A New Brain to Spelling Bee. Drama, comedy, deep introspection, pure joy.
He could do it all. Masterclass in tone.
So, beyond those big ones, what else is part of his legacy? Well, there were the musical reviews Infinite Joy, Elegies, A Song Cycle, Make Me a Song.
Right. Collections of his work.
Yeah. And he kept working with James Lapine. They did Little Miss Sunshine, the musical.
Based on the movie.
Yeah, premiered in 2011.
Huh.
And The Royal Family of Broadway in 2018.
So that partnership with Lapine really endured.
Seems like a really crucial creative relationship for him. And then there's the teaching.
NYU Tisch.
Yep. The graduate program in musical theater writing he taught there influenced so many young writers.
That's a huge impact right there, shaping the next generation.
Absolutely. That mentorship is a massive part of his legacy beyond the shows themselves.
A creator and a cultivator.
Yeah.
And Playbill mentioned he's survived by his life partner, Arthur Salvador.
Yes. And looking back at it all, that fearless approach to personal themes is what stands out, I think.
Yeah.
Whether it's love and loss during the AIDS crisis in Falsettos, or staring down mortality in A New Brain, he just went there.
With honesty. And humor, too, surprisingly.
Humor and heart. He wasn't afraid to be vulnerable, complex.
And I think that's why it connects. Even when the stories are so specific, there's something universal in that honesty. He gave voice to experiences, started conversations.
Definitely left a huge mark. On musical theater, but also just on, how we tell stories about difficult things.
Indelible is the word.
Exactly. His unique voice, that blend of wit and depth, it's why his work will keep resonating for a long, long time.
William Finn's career really was something special. Innovation, vulnerability, that unmistakable voice, stories from his own life, tackling huge themes with everything he had. Humor, heart, intelligence.
He left a massive legacy.
We really hope this deep dive gave everyone a richer sense of his contributions. There's obviously so much more to explore.
Oh, absolutely. Listening to the cast recordings is probably the best next step.
Definitely. Hear the music, the lyrics as intended.
Get the full experience.
So if you enjoyed exploring William Finn's world with us, please do hit like and subscribe.
It lets us know you're out there and helps us do more deep dives like this one.
And let us know. What other artists, what other topics in theater or pop culture are you curious about? We'd love to hear your ideas for future exploration.
Yeah, drop us a comment.
Thanks so much for joining us on POP Podcast for this look into the incredible work of William Finn.
Thanks, everyone.
Until next time.